Hello, in this video you will learn how to create and use a calculated value control, and dynamically change its value, depending on the form's other controls, values and actions. Spark Forms Builder provides custom functions to easily make calculations on controls values in your SharePoint form, like calculating the total price for items purchased in invoice form, or the average grades on a report card, and many more cases. Today we are going to take this invoice form as an example, and learn how to calculate the total purchase for all items that will be listed here. Previously we have created this SharePoint list. To learn how to create a list in SharePoint in detail, you can watch this tutorial video, and it is listed in the description below as well. So let's start from the list at the top here. Click on Spark Forms Builder to open the canvas to design the form. As you see here, I've previously designed this form to focus on calculated value control in this video. If you are interested in how to customize the design for the form in detail, you can watch this tutorial video, and it is listed in the description below as well. I use this repeater container to list in it all the items details that include in the invoice. The total purchase price depends on three main values. The first is the total price for each item, the second value is the sum total price for all the items, and the third value is the tax value. So we are going to discuss how to calculate each value in detail. Let's start to calculate the total price value for each item in the repeater control. This value depends on the item price, quantity, and the discount. So we have to multiply the item price by the quantity, and subtract the discount value dynamically each time we add an item. To apply this equation, we're going to use the math function. First, select the total price control to add the function for it. To add the function we have to add a rule first. From the top ribbon, click on the control rules. Create a new rule. Modify the rule name. Select rule type action. And apply the rule on key up. In the action text box, first, we are going to use the set value function to set the calculated value to the selected control. From the right panels under Functions, Spark Forms provide 100 built-in functions. At the search box type set value. And here it is. You can have more details about the function from here. As we see here, this function needs two parameters. The control ID, which is the represent the selected control, and the values that we want to calculate it. To add the parameters, there are two ways, by the wizard, or manually. I am going to add them manually. Click on the plus icon. Select the control ID, total price, and then the value that we are going to calculate it. Use the math function to calculate a mathematical formula. So again from the right panel function, search for math. And here it is. I am going to add them manually. Click on the plus icon. Then type the mathematical formula. Then click Save. And now, each time we add an item in the repeater control, it will calculate the total price for it dynamically. Now we are going to calculate the total sum for all the items in the repeater control. Select the subtotal value control. Then from the top ribbon, click on the control rules. Create a new rule. Modify the rule name. Select rule type action. And apply the rule on key up. In the action text box, again we are going to use the set value function. So from the right panel function, search for set value. And here it is. Click on the plus icon. Select the control ID, subtotal value. And then we are going to use function getRepeaterSum. From the right panel function, search for getRepeaterSum. And here it is. I am going to use the wizard way this time. So click on the wizard icon, Case Manager wizard window will open. Select Repeater ID. And select the control, total price. Then click OK. Then click Save. Now we are going to calculate the tax value. Select the tax value control. Then, add a new rule. Type tax value rule. In the action text box, again we are going to use the setValue function. Select the control ID, which is the tax value, and use the math function to calculate the tax value. Then click Save. Finally, after we calculated the main three values, we can calculate the total purchase price. As we did before. Select the total due control. Then, add a new rule. Type total due rule. In the action text box, again we are going to use the setValue function. Select the control ID, which is the total due, and use the math function to add the subtotal to the tax value. Then click Save. Great! We have finished designing the form. Let's now publish the form and see how it works. Let's get back to our list. Click on New. Let's enter the data quickly. Let's change the quantity and see how all the four values have been changed. And the same for the discounts. As we see here, the controls values are calculated dynamically depend on the other controls values. At the end of this video, you saw how to create a calculated value control dynamically in your SharePoint form by Spark Forms Builder. Follow us to learn more about advances used for SharePoint and Spark Forms. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and if you have a comment please write it down. Thank you.